What do you say? A little game time decisions on a Monday night. It is great to be with you all here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh joined by Gabriel Morency, and we have got playoff action, NBA and NHL, which will certainly be driving this show. But it is also draft week in the National Football League. Big trades over the weekend. I don't know. Was a trade confirmed today, Gabe? Is A.J. Brown on New England already? I don't really know how that works. I know he's not on the Eagles anymore.
It's the longest and slowest trade rumor, and deal in the history of the National Football League. But you're right. Mm-hmm. The draft kind of snuck up on us now that the playoffs are here, right? But let's be real. Compared to past drafts, it's I think it's a solid draft as far as nuts and bolts and lunch pail football players that'll make football teams better and help you win Super Bowls in a couple of years. But it's not a sexy draft. Let's call it out for what it is, Kevin, right? There's no debate. Oh, this guy, or that quarterback. And, oh, boy, it's like I said, it's a very good draft. Defensive lineman, offensive lineman. Look for a bunch of defensive guys to be taken in the first round. But it's not a flashy draft. Let's call it out for what it is. Like, how many people know who Arvell Reese is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. Like, it's for the hardcores. It's a football purist draft.
Even Jeremiah Love, who is one of the most enjoyable running backs to watch, Jeremiah Love, the Heisman race was interesting. I'm from a Notre Dame guy. Jeremiah Love did not have Heisman numbers. He's just that good of a football player. We were like, oh, maybe there aren't superstars in the way that we've heard more about Jeremiah Smith, who still has to play another year of college, than any wide receiver who will be picked this season. We've heard more about Ryan Williams at Alabama. Quite frankly, I saw someone yesterday rank the 10 best wide receivers for next year's draft. I think they were bored. They were over it. They're like, I got Cam Coleman as my wide receiver too, transferred to Texas. So I agree. And by the way, I'll say this, Gabe, I think you'll agree. I think it's one of the things that might work out for the Eagles. Instead of getting 2026 draft capital, they're now going to likely get 2027 draft capital, which is probably more valuable.
Well, you know what? I'm going to try to find the prop that the Philadelphia Eagles take Zachariah Branch. He checks all the boxes.
He sure does.
Georgia Bulldog, recently arrested. Stock falls a little bit, but recently arrested, and I use the term arrested loosely here. Anytime you get arrested and your bail is $39, you know it's not a very serious situation. He was outside of a club, didn't move quick enough, evidently, after police told him to disperse, and ended up getting arrested. So I don't really think it'll have any sort of impact on him. But as we stated, not the sexiest draft. And listen, Jeremiah Love, hell of a football player, as you stated, but even with all the problems with Coach Moore last year in Michigan, Kevin, I'll tell you what, if Justice Haynes didn't get hurt, he was in the mix. Like this, he's a legitimate star back, this kid. He was on Alabama as a freshman, didn't really play all that much. He burst for like 600 yards in his limited carries. Then he went to Michigan last year, and he was good, like on a dysfunctional football team. Like if he's good enough to single-handedly win games for you, point blank. Like he's that good. This kid's a star, Kevin. And it wasn't like he didn't like Michigan or this or that, but just point blank, number one, he liked Coach Moore. So Coach Moore was the one that got him to go there. And number two, he's a mercenary, point blank. Like he told Michigan, I'll come back, but I need $2 million. Like teams are offering me $2 million. So Georgia Tech, Michigan said, thanks, but no thanks. Georgia Tech paid him the $2 million, Kevin. Keep your eye on him this year. Georgia Tech, Justice Haynes. If he stays healthy, he's going to put up some massive numbers. And Mendoza's brother actually just won the starting quarterback job with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I'm interested to see younger Mendoza. It is, I don't know, it'll remain interesting. He didn't end up staying at Indiana. But let's get into some of the playoff action here. We'll mix in maybe some more of the NFL. That Dexter Lawrence trade obviously was stunning.
Quickly out.
out. And I'll tell you this, and we can start right there. Game number 1 with the Cavs set the tone really for the weekend of the NBA. Home teams dominating. The only home team who didn't cover was the one who, of course, lost outright in the Detroit Pistons. And I almost would argue for Detroit, I don't blame them. Home teams couldn't go a perfect 8-0. Somebody had to lose. They just had to fall on the sword here. But it tells me, Gabe, that not all these series are going to be 2-0, home team. It's not going to happen. Upsets are going to break in. And we have 3 road teams that it's not, we see how the numbers look for Boston and Philly, Oklahoma City and Phoenix. Those are different series. The odds tell us, Gabe, one of these teams at least is going to win a basketball game tonight.
Those other series feel like the NCAA tournament 1 versus 16, don't they? Like they really do. And you can't help but think, really, we got to do this 3 more times, 4 more times, and watch these 2 teams play? Again, just incredibly one-sided. We'll get into the Hawks point spread because I find it kind of strange that it's only 5.5, and they're almost like it's like bait carring you into taking the New York Knicks tonight. But as far as the Raptors are concerned, number 1, Kevin, the Raptors historically all the time, like going back the last 25 years, they're terrible in game 1s of playoff series. Mm-hmm. It's a real deal. They're 1-9 all time on the road now. And also think when you get teams, guys, that haven't been in the playoffs before, or, not too many guys on the team have been in the playoffs, etc. And the Raptors really do have a lot of guys that haven't been in the playoffs before. And the Hawks do as well. McCollum's a few dudes that have, but for the most part, they get rattled in game 1s, Kevin, right? Saturday at the Garden, whatever, Saturday in Seatown, they're fired up. Harden and Mitchell go off. I would expect both the Raptors and the Hawks to be much calmer. How many freaking layups and, open looks did the Hawks miss the other night? Like, just putbacks and stuff. Like, that has nothing to do with the Knicks and how well the Knicks played. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're missing open layups, putbacks, bricks. I could tell early, oh, boy, I'm in trouble. And I took the Hawks plus the points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walker Alexander's bombing threes and these brick city. And, they were just off, right? And Quinn Snyder even said, that was the worst game that we played in a long time. Yeah, because game 1 of the playoffs, right? You're at Madison Square Garden, and it's real. The playoffs are a little bit different. I'm really expecting the Raptors and the Hawks to both be much calmer tonight, but I'm really concerned, Kevin. I like to pretend, they'll be all right without quickly. The Raptors only took 71 shots on Saturday. They actually were pretty productive when they shot, Kevin. They didn't shoot enough. They only took 71 shots. The average for an NBA game for a team is 88 shots. You can't win if you're taking 17 less shots, on average. And what does that mean? Ball distribution, point guard play. It was a problem. Brandon Ingram got 9 shots only in the entire game. I mean, how the Raptors can't win like that. And Quickly is a good shooter. He's actually one of their best 3-point shooters, as sad as that is. The Raptors are not a good 3-point shooting team. So missing Quickly really is a tough thing to overcome. I like to pretend it isn't, Kevin, but it really is. What's your take?
I actually think the issue was less Quickly. I mean, they were at the line, Gabe, for 35 attempts. I thought defensively the Raptors, they got a little punked, quite frankly. Mobley and Allen had their way on the inside. Max Strus shooting 8 of 10 is unacceptable. Max Strus doesn't get easy enough looks to ever shoot 80% from the floor in a basketball game. The shooting splits for Toronto were 52, 48, 74. And they lost the basketball game by 13 because they gave up 126, which is, I think, a little bit why.
Which is unlike them, too, to give up a buck 26.
And I think that's why this total, odds makers haven't overreacted, because they're thinking the intensity really picks up now here in game number 2. I think Scotty Barnes is capable of controlling the tempo, but you mentioned something that stands out like a sore thumb. 9 field goal attempts for Brandon Ingram. We'll talk about his props after the break on SportsGrid. By setting the play-in up like this, what the NBA is letting everybody know is that the back-to-backs are completely unacceptable
and the worst thing about their schedule. And these fools,
now they
get
give them
guys to
3
play.
days off for one game. Yeah.
They're so scared of back-to-backs. They go, not even in the play-in could we dream of giving anybody a back-to-back.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
It looks like Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler have replaced Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson as must-see golf TV. 14 million people on average watch the Masters on Sunday on CBS. That's not including Paramount Plus. It's up 8% from last year, and it just about tied what was probably the best Masters Sunday performance. That was in 2015 when Jordan Spieth won it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We may be talking about this as one of the best divisions in baseball. It's not generally something we do, but if the Pirates just hold court and the Reds just hold court and the Cubs are in this thing, the Brewers are going to be there in the end too. I mean, that's 4 of the 5 teams. I do think the Cardinals are going to push back at some point. They'll fall back a little bit, but I got 4 teams with a possibility of making the postseason here, Donnie.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Whatever your next job is, the first 24 hours, it's going to be a rehashing of this. Mm-hmm. You have to suck that up. You can't avoid that. Like, I haven't been in prison in 7 years.
But people do bring it up.
And every story written about me still references the fact that I got in trouble.
Right.
So, unfortunately, you have to live with that the rest of your professional career.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, game time decisions in the mix on a Monday night. Game number 1 is Cleveland and Toronto. And just kind of, and look, every game has different tempo, but just to use something really simple to put into perspective. Every single team who scored over 105 points this weekend won their basketball game other than Toronto. So that's why that Raptors kind of points allowed. It stands out. However, it was noteworthy that in the post-game press conferences, the Raptors and their players seemed frustrated with their offensive attack and approach to the game. And I heard more of that noise after placing my bet on Brandon Ingram over 21.5 points. To me, I don't need to hear Brandon Ingram complain to know he's not happy about getting 9 shots. I do like that he's ignoring he had 10 free throw attempts. You know, Brandon, you didn't get to the line without the basketball, right? You had the ball, but it's okay. He's definitely going to shoot the ball more here tonight. And I think he should, by the way. Scotty Barnes is in a tough spot. He is not only, I think, with quickly out, their best on-ball creator, but he is their best defensive player. Defensively and creating for others is where they need Scotty. They don't need 25 from Scotty Barnes in this game, Gabe. I think B.I. scores. I really like him over 21.5 points.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think the Raptors got frustrated that they couldn't stop Cleveland. And then it led to just ineptness on the offensive side, or the slowdown on the offensive side. The Raptors are one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. They're not used to just getting clowned like that, but they had no answers. Listen, Harden and Mitchell, these guys have been there before, Kevin, right? And you have 2 guys that have been called out so much in the past for their postseason failures. Game 1, they were good to go. And it's just human nature. Let me just bring this up too, though. With the news of Quickly, and basically Quickly officially being out was announced just moments before we started this show at 6 o'clock Eastern. So it literally broke moments before we came on. The point spread was 8, 8.5, 9. It's 9.5 now, so it's climbing. So the Quickly effect has had a quick effect on the point spread, pun intended. And how about the total, Kevin? Up to 222.5 right now. I sent this in, and I was going with the over. I do think that the Raptors will be better defensively. They don't give up 126 this time. But at the same point in time, Cleveland are going to get into the one teens, I believe. So it's going to be a challenge. Can the Raptors match this offensively? And as you stated, the Raptors wasn't like they didn't score. They just didn't score quickly enough, right? It was just sort of like the wheels just sort of fell off for them. So I think the Raptors do have positives to take away from the game. So But the total getting up there now, Kevin, at 222.5 and the point spread climbing, which, all right, fine. We're taking the Raptors with or without quickly. I mean, good. Now we can pretty much get a 10 spot here in this basketball game.
Yeah. I want to mention, we're going to talk to Craig Mish tonight. Again, we have so much time to get into these basketball games. But I also do want to mention Atlanta and New York, because this is a spot where sidewise, I just absolutely love Atlanta, and I'm a little bit surprised we are not paying some down 1-0 tax on the Hawks. Let's remember what the series spreads told us. It told us the Cavs were going to win going away, whether that happens or not. It told us Denver was going to win going away. It told us the Knicks were in for a battle. That's what it told us here. And I understand that the Hawks won game number 1, or rather the Knicks won game number 1 by, I think, 11 at the final score. That was a close game. It was a 2-point game at half. And this is a Hawks team so young, so much energy, down early in that game. I think they come out flying. And this is a Knicks team game. How many times have we seen the Knicks get a great win and hand it back this year? The Garden is cool. It's not, but it's almost too cool. Guys like playing there, right? Like the jitters wear off, and now we're here for a show. Jalen Johnson show. I really, really like Atlanta tonight against the Knicks plus 6.5.
Yeah, if you're Atlanta, the Raptors, have like a bunch of things sort of on the board to work on, right now. You let off the top. And, you brought up Mobley on the inside. Like, basically everybody did what they wanted to do. Like, everybody did what they wanted to do on Cleveland. If you're Atlanta, it sounds cliche, but it really is. Make your open shots. You know what I mean? Make your shots, and we're in this game. Because Kevin's right. That game, the Knicks were always sort of like ahead, but, it was 44-42, 47-43. It was just sort of right there. They were trading baskets after a quick, hot Knicks start. And, you got the feeling, man, if the Hawks could ever just sort of, get a little bit of a run going here, they could take a lead and potentially win this game. Like, they weren't physically overwhelmed.
No.
They weren't out-coached. It wasn't like they were like, oh, yeah, boy, man, we're in trouble. It's not like Phoenix going back to the hotel after, or like the Sixer players saying, oh, man, like, dude, we're in trouble. Like, we're screwed. Like, they're not going to tell the media that, but like, yeah, we're effed. So I think the Hawk players are thinking, man, look, dude, Alexander Walker, he went 6 for 17, Kevin. I expect him to be better. And in fact, I saw a stat, bro. He hasn't like gone back-to-back games and not shooting 50% like in, in like 2 months type of deal.
I love stuff like that.
He's been hot, bro. I can get you the exact number later. He's been hot, and he wasn't shy of shooting, right? He shot 17 times. I mean, he was bombing away from 3. They weren't falling. They missed a bunch of putbacks, free throws. I think they're in this game tonight. And for me, Kevin, I think it gets there as far as the total is concerned. The game nearly got there the other night, despite the fact that Knicks taking a pedal off the metal, Atlanta hitting the wall and kind of tapping out with like 7 minutes left in the game, and missing a million open shots. And it's still nearly, dude, it missed the total by like 2 points or whatever. 1 point, whatever, like 215, whatever it was. I think it gets there tonight because I'm expecting the Hawks to hit some shots tonight, Kevin. I think the Hawks will be much better offensively tonight than they were in game 1.
Right. I think my I'm so one-track mind on Atlanta, Gabe. I'd rather hear you say I'm on the Hawks team total, but I agree with you. I think it gets there because I think Atlanta offensively brings
Johnson's
so much
another
more
one that needs to be more aggressive tonight. More aggressive 100%. Offensively.
And I think Jalen Johnson, though, like, it sounds easy to say, but he cannot have 10 rebounds and assists. We got used every night, 9 and 11, 14 and 8, like these huge rebound assist games here. I think Jalen Johnson has to do a little bit of everything for this basketball team.
A little more scoring now. You can't also, not trust your teammates, Kevin, but don't pass it as much. Just point blank.
And I'll gladly question how the Knicks are going to handle coming off of a good Cat game, because we know that those don't always come in consecutive postseason situations. Craig Mish is next. We're back with you here on SportsGrid.
By setting the play-in up like this, what the NBA is letting everybody know is that the back-to-backs are completely unacceptable and the worst thing about their schedule. And these fools,
now they give them
guys to
3
play.
days off for one game. Yeah.
They're so scared of back-to-backs. They go, not even in the play-in could we dream of giving anybody a back-to-back.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It looks like Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler have replaced Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson as must-see golf TV. 14 million people on average watch the Masters on Sunday on CBS. That's not including Paramount Plus. It's up 8% from last year, and it just about tied what was probably the best Masters Sunday performance. That was in 2015 when Jordan Spieth won it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
We may be talking about this as one of the best divisions in baseball. It's not generally something we do, but if the Pirates just hold court and the Reds just hold court and the Cubs are in this thing, the Brewers are going to be there in the end too. I mean, that's 4 of the 5 teams. I do think the Cardinals are going to push back at some point. They'll fall back a little bit, but I got 4 teams with a possibility of making the postseason here, Donnie.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Whatever your next job is, the first 24 hours, it's going to be a rehashing of this. You have to suck that up. You can't avoid that. Like, I haven't been in prison in 7 years.
But people do
and
bring it
every
up.
story written about me still references the fact that I got in trouble.
Right.
So, unfortunately, you have to live with that the rest of your professional career.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions on SportsGrid. Craig Mish with us here. And Craig, of course, it's always good to be able to talk to you about everything going on in Major League Baseball. Of course, you can catch Craig every Monday through Friday here on SportsGrid Newswire, weekends Pro Baseball Today. And it's a sport that is very long. And I feel as if throughout our early conversations, we've been very cautious to not overreact, right? And I could bring up the Mets, but just I think generally here, right? When we're now almost a month in, right? When do we get a move that might feel drastic but valid, right? Again, there's a lot of eyes on New York. There's some other teams. Houston comes to mind. We've mentioned the Giants struggling. The Royals are 7-15, which is incredibly disappointing as well, Craig.
Yeah, they're going to be teams like that. And so, look, in discussing the Mets with you last week, I think it's fair to say that in sports, when you're dealing with players and humans and teams, like, you have to give yourself the ability to pivot. And I think we are getting there with the Mets. I think it's fair to ask that question. Like, they've lost, Kevin, every team loses 4 or 5 games in a row or 6, but like it's 11 now. So they are burying themselves a little here in April. I don't know if they're going to be able to come out of it. If you're the Mets, you say to yourselves, hey, Cleveland lost 10 games in a row last year. They ended up making the postseason. So if they're able to just start picking things up now, they can. But I'm definitely more concerned than I was, say, when I saw you last week or Thursday or Friday, and they're finding new ways to lose. So that's concerning too. But, they will get Juan Soto back. There's still 140 games to play. They can turn it around, but it'll be an uphill battle for them. Kansas City still with time. But as I've made clear, the one team that I do have the biggest concerns about and still do are the Astros. And I do think that, if I had to predict, I think the Astros will not make the playoffs. I think they will lose a lot of games this season, and things are just trending very poorly with them.
Now, on the other side of that coin, there are a couple of numbers that, stick out early. And, I know there are Dodger fans incredibly excited that maybe Andy Pages is the next guy they found. Yankee fans are hopeful that Ben Rice is going to become, maybe an all-star next to Aaron Judge. What stands out, and I know this isn't news to you, the best batting average in baseball, right? Pages, Rice. It's a couple of Miami Marlins in Lopez and Edwards. What have you seen up close and personal from that duo in South Beach?
Well, Edwards has always had this ability, the bat to ball skills, so that doesn't surprise me. Lopez is playing the best he's ever played basically with Miami now, and to think that they got him for basically nothing a couple of years ago. So it's been very impressive for them. And Kevin, I was happy, of course, that they won Sunday walking into a Monday broadcast tonight. I didn't want to walk into a sweep at the Milwaukee Brewers, but yeah, I mean, you got to call it what it is. Miami's offense, for the time being, is not what you would call formidable, but they seem to be piecing it together as they did on Sunday, but they did struggle in a big way on Friday and Saturday. But I would expect, facing off, Kevin, with the Cardinals this week, that Miami should have better offensive luck. And the Cardinals, by the way, have been playing, I think we would agree, way over their heads at this point. This is one of those teams that I would have flipped the record with at this point. But credit to them, they've done a good job. But yeah, you're right. Lopez and Edwards both having great seasons. Edwards in particular, I could see winning the batting title.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun race to follow. A pitching start to the year that is catching odds makers' eyes, maybe more than any, Craig, is Mason Miller. And I remember, I guess 2 years ago, I had asked you about Emmanuel Clase in the AL Cy Young race, and you were like, listen, maybe get some votes. It's not going to happen. And you were obviously right. Wasn't Clase had this incredible year. The Miller buzz, though, it's April buzz, which is a little bit different. I mean, it's 31 outs, 25 strikeouts, 2 hits, 2 walks, no runs. Is it possible that Mason Miller could actually push to win an NL Cy Young?
Kevin, if he doesn't give up a run the rest of the season, he will win the NL Cy Young. Beyond that, I don't think so. They just don't like giving this to relievers anymore. I know Eckersley won it in the past, and Willie Hernandez back in the 80s, he won it in the past. But generally, guys like that, I think Gagne won the Cy Young Award, if I'm not mistaken, with the Dodgers. But generally speaking, this is an award for a starting pitcher. Right now, no one in the NL has established themselves. Like, no one's having that Jose Soriano season yet with the Angels. What a story he's been, too. But my answer is very unlikely Miller wins the Cy Young in the NL. He would have to put together a season where he basically doesn't give up a run. I mean, unfortunately, that's just the way that it's viewed for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think to Craig's point, he could not, quite frankly, not have a better start to the year, and his numbers move significantly. It's still 20-1, right? It's not as if he's crept into the Skeens Yamamoto range. Craig, amazing. As always, we'll talk all week long here. It's Game Time Decisions. Game time decisions. We got quite a bit to get to, including a Major League Baseball board that had a game go off around 11 a.m. East Coast time. So that was a real breakfast baseball situation if you're out on the West with Boston and Detroit. Houston and Cleveland is live right now. 2 early runs in that game for the Stros. A bunch of 640 starts coming up here, Gabe. 645. I don't know if any of the crew. Yeah, there we go. As always, boys in the back love a good 640 start. Yandy Diaz, 2+ hit run RBI for Kofsky on the Tampa Bay Rays. What do you like, Gabe, in this 640 baseball window?
I'll tell you what, I don't understand why the St. Louis Cardinals are underdogs in this baseball game tonight, Kevin, against the Marlins. We're getting, it was plus 118, plus 115 right now with McGreevy on the hill. Number one, guys, Cardinals playing good baseball. They have been playing good baseball all year, but they're on a 5-game win streak right now. You're taking on a Marlins team who people got excited because they look good against the Rockies in on the first series of the year. Well, they've lost 7 of their last 9 baseball games right now, so reality is starting to kick in for the Marlins and McGreevy. Now, listen, I'm not saying that he's Mesnick like we talked about last week, but another one of these just sort of younger pitchers, not really known, Kevin, very much, besides hardcore DFS and fantasy players, etc. Michael McGreevy, he's only started 23 games in his young career. He's 25 years old. He's got 23 starts under his belt now. 12-5, Kevin. He's got a 12-5 record in his career. He's got a 2.49 ERA so far this year. This kid's the real deal. He's a good pitcher. He's going to give you a chance to win every time he takes the hill. Like, he's going to give up a couple of runs only. And you look at Meyer tonight, who was a big-time draft pick prospect and stuff, and he's kind of struggled and scuffling along in his career, Kevin. I don't understand why the Marlins are favorites. Give me the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. The red-hot Cardinals. Jordan Walker and company, plus 118. Let's rock.
Yeah, we've got just some very interesting starts out there.
He's got 8 home runs
in the Major League Baseball world. It's incredible. Jordan Alvarez looks like he might go for a triple crown. The Astros are one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Like, some of the things that we're seeing early has just been, it's been remarkable. One game, I have a baseball pick tonight. We'll get to it. The one game tonight, though, truly that people will probably find a way to bet, the Dodgers against the Rockies. But Gabe, I'm glad I remembered. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. You know that gamblers tonight are going to go, okay, who do I trust on the NBA board? Pairing with the Dodgers money line, because it's, to me, not will the Dodgers win a game? It's, are the Rockies going to sweep the Dodgers? Everybody says no, and it's your boy Wrobleski. What do you think about the Dodgers in this spot against Colorado?
Yeah, I don't believe in the, wow, there's no way that they lose a third time in a row, right? I mean, that's how a lot of people have lost a lot of money, believing there's no way in hell a team. Ask how many people right now do you think in New York, all kidding aside, are in serious trouble financially because there's no way in hell the Mets lose 6
good
in
point.
A row. There's no, they're not losing 8 in a row. No, they're not losing 9. No, this is the one. All right, well, it's 11 now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It happens. So you can't come in tonight going, there's no way in hell, and I'm sure you'll see someone online with that gambling tweet stuff. Oh, better at Caesars drops $350K on Dodgers to whatever. Someone's going to do it. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to step up and go, there's no way the Dodgers lose again tonight. I think the Dodgers do win tonight. I do. But listen, the Rockies have been scrappy all series. It's a weird 4-game set, actually, right? We get this Monday game now as well. So it's, the Rockies have taken the last 2. The Dodgers took the first one. I don't think they want to lose the series here. I do trust Wrobleski tonight on the hill. It's pricey, and you called it, Kevin. How many, hundreds of thousands of parlays tonight, Kevin, are going to have the Dodgers and the Nuggets? And I've already done one myself. Dodgers, Edmonton Oilers.
There you go. Yeah, I don't blame you.
See, that's the late hockey game.
I had a spot where, it was funny though, Gabe. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll bet the under because Wrobleski's been so good. And then I got scared. Wrobleski doesn't strike guys out. I'm not dealing with the pitch to contact at Coors Field. That's not for me.
Yeah.
You
The
know, like, you know
11
what?
and a half.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what,
let me
too,
get
we
out
saw
of here.
runs yesterday. The Dodgers yesterday as well. The Dodgers had like a 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead. They had a 3-0 lead. It was 3-2, 4-3. Dodgers had a 4-3 lead again. It was sort of going back and forth. And I got to tell you, Kevin, I watched all the games. So I watched the last 2 Dodger games here that they lost. And I was on them, obviously. And, dude, they've left runners in scoring position a lot in the last 2 days. Mm-hmm. So it's not like oh, yeah, they're all cold and they're getting steamrolled. No, it's just one of those baseball things. So they had second and third, first and second, like every inning yesterday, bro. Mm-hmm. Like seriously, every inning you look up, oh, God, Dodgers had the bases loaded. Oh, and Muncy pops out, and Muncy strikes. You're like, yeah, no one really came through with the key hit. Is it going to happen 3 days in a row? I would say no. I think the Dodgers are good parlay material tonight. And you called it,
enough.
like all the late games.
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And what's Anthony Edwards' injury situation coming into tonight? He's going to play, but I know he's not 100%.
I feel like we're at a point with Ant, and I hope I'm not wrong about this, where I actually now don't blink when I see him on an injury report. It's actually, and this is a bad comparison for Anthony Edwards because the guy I'm comparing him to is 40 years old. But LeBron would be on the injury report all the time. And I'd be like, well, that doesn't mean anything because LeBron is just giving himself an out if he needs a night off or something. Like, Ant should not be on the injury report every night, Gabe, but he is. He's been on the injury report, it feels like, every night all year long. So that's just what I chalk it up to. Again, maybe one of these games will randomly just be like, yeah, Anthony Edwards isn't playing. I think he's off the injury report now as the night's gone on. He seems to be set up there. It's the one NBA game we haven't spoke about. We'll do the NHL in the next segment, but the Nuggets-Timberwolves game is the over that I really like tonight. There was a 230.5 available, while some other books were at 231.5, even a 232. So I was a little surprised. Look, I don't think this thing's landing 232 on the nose. I think this game is up and down. I really do. I think if you're Minnesota, you look at the way you shot the ball last game and who shot it poorly. It's their 3 main scorers in Edwards, Randall, and McDaniels. So if those guys come back to the pack, you know offensively it's going to be clean. And from a Denver perspective, they couldn't make threes. 10 of 36 from beyond the arc. If a couple of more of those went, Jokic might have had 15 assists or, 16 assists type of game, and Denver could have had $125 in this game. I really do like the over, Gabe, Nuggets-Wolves.
Yeah, I wouldn't be betting the under of this basketball game. We saw an incredibly quick pace to start the game, and Minnesota hit the wall as it went on. Total up to 232 right now tonight. And the point spread up to 7.5, actually, in which I don't really, Denver are one of these teams, Kevin, in which they're really hard to bet against at home in the playoffs, but doesn't mean they're going to automatically cover the point spread, right? Denver live for drama. They play a lot of close basketball games. You're going to get a desperate Minnesota Timberwolves basketball team here tonight. Don't mind your total look. You need a clean ride, man, up to 232 right now, but getting upwards of 7.5, like, I can live with Denver in a money line parlay, and even then, I think it could be kind of a sweat job.
Yeah.
Listen, you and I both agreed so far that we both expect the Raptors and the Hawks to be a lot better tonight than they were in Game 1. Mm-hmm. Now you're getting 7.5. Can't we make the same argument for the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight?
100%. I would not really be desperate to back any of these favorites on these numbers here. I don't think that these aren't the series where it just feels like there are wild disadvantages. And I just wanted to mention, I mentioned the Jokic with the 11 assist game. It sounds great. They have the, they track potential assists, right? So if every single, shot went in, how many would you finish with? Jokic had 21 potential assists and only got to 11. I'll throw this one in here, Gabe. Cade Cunningham had a 4-assist game, 17 potential assists.
Oh, the
Boy,
Pistons were a disaster last night. How about Wembanyama in his playoff debut last night?
Unbelievable. Boy. Unbelievable. We'll do some hockey after the break.
By setting the play-in up like this, What the NBA is letting everybody know is that the back-to-backs are completely unacceptable and the worst thing about their schedule. And these fools,
Yeah.
like,
Now they
get
give them
guys to
3
play.
days off for one game. Yeah.
They're so scared of back-to-backs. They go, not even in the play-in could we dream of giving anybody a back-to-back.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It looks like Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler have replaced Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson as must-see golf TV. 14 million people on average watch the Masters on Sunday on CBS. That's not including Paramount Plus. It's up 8% from last year, and it just about tied what was probably the best Masters Sunday performance. That was in 2015 when Jordan Spieth won it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
We may be talking about this as one of the best divisions in baseball. It's not generally something we do, but if the Pirates just hold court and the Reds just hold court and the Cubs are in this thing, the Brewers are going to be there in the end too. I mean, that's 4 of the 5 teams. I do think the Cardinals are going to push back at some point. They'll fall back a little bit, but I got 4 teams with a possibility of making the postseason here, Donnie.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Whatever your next job is, the first 24 hours, it's going to be a rehashing of this. You have to suck that up. You can't avoid that. Like, I haven't been in prison in 7 years.
But people do
and
bring it
every
up.
story written about me still references the fact that I got in trouble.
Right.
So, unfortunately, you have to live with that the rest of your professional career.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, the NBA playoffs off and running. The NHL playoffs off and running. We have already had some excellent games. I know Pittsburgh and Philadelphia kind of stole the show on Saturday night. What a win for Montreal over Tampa Bay on Sunday. I will say this, no cheating, okay? I didn't bet this, so just my eyeballs, not as smart as others' opinion. I like the Avs over the Canadians in the Stanley Cup final. That's my off-eyeballs opinion of the Stanley Cup final, Gabe.
I got to tell you, man, people of Montreal would kill for that because the Avalanche are formerly the Quebec Nordiques. Actually, right? They're arch rival, right? So the storylines would be thick. This Canadian team is a dangerous team, Kevin. I don't know if what's like an NBA comparison. I don't know if they're Oklahoma City, but they're a year away still type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still a young team, but they've got some guys that are sort of in their mid-20s now, later 20s, that have some experience. But, yeah, the Canadians are a fun team. Listen, we all know the cliched saying about postseason sports. A playoff series doesn't really begin until a home team loses. Well, we've already got that on a couple of occasions in the National Hockey League right now. So it's a must-win situation tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Life is good for the Walshes. Weddings, the Flyers wins in the playoffs, all kinds of stuff going on. So, listen, hell of a win for the Flyers the other night. They just grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. That's what they do. And Pittsburgh had a hard time getting the puck, like, into the zone. Philadelphia just put a wall up. Like, Philadelphia just said, you're not scoring on us. And, we're going to make your life miserable trying to score. And they really did a good job at it. Pittsburgh said they know what they have to do tonight. And it's not rocket science. You got to dump the puck. You're not going to skate the puck through the Philadelphia Flyers in the neutral zone. You're going to have to play dump and chase. It just is what it is against this team. But it was a really fun game one, Kevin. I like the Penguins to bounce back tonight, although it's going to be another super close game. And listen, the Dallas Stars just got punched in the mouth early by the Minnesota Wild. Like, nobody saw that coming. I mean, the series is a pick-em. The game was basically a pick-em. So for, like, one team to be so dominant, and that was the visiting Minnesota Wild that were so dominant, this is another massive game for the Dallas Stars tonight. And last year, Kevin, Dallas have been really good in the regular seasons. And they get to the playoffs, and they'll either win a round or two, and then they do hit a wall. They get injured. Their players get tired. Their goalie, Ottinger, is a really good goalie, but he fades as the year goes on. And he got called out last year. Right? He's been called out by the coaching staff, and here we go again. Like the Dallas Stars, like there's a lot of pressure on them to win tonight. You don't want to overreact, Kevin. About you know what, you lose the first 2 games at home. It's a hell of a lot different than losing the first 2 on the road. Let's call it out for what it is. Right? So this is a must-win game for the Dallas Stars, must-win game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Ottawa Senators played their hearts out, and they still lost 2-0 the other night. I think it'll be a similar situation. That's the series where I think we go up 2-0. I think the Penguins bounce back tonight. I think Carolina, though, gets it done on home ice tonight. I mean, they're just a dominant home ice team, Kevin. They're the best home ice team, best home ice record in the National Hockey League. The Stars to bounce back tonight, and then we got that Oilers-Ducks game that is going to be a big parlay piece for a lot of people tonight, as the Oilers are minus 185 favorites now.
It does look like that Edmonton line is. This is what happens when you play hockey, or baseball, right? A money line can be big, but if they're going to win, they're going to win, right? Like Edmonton looked too big a favorite, but if they're going to win the game, they're going to win the game. The one thing I just wanted to say, the one hockey game that I did,
170. Just for the record, it opened 170.
Right.
Yeah, but this was the last game on the board, right? Everybody has played except these 2. So, like, seriously, Saturday, Sunday, it's a long wait for these guys. I warned people when the line came out initially when it was 170. I said this will not be 170 by the time Monday night gets here. So here we are right now. It's 185 right now.
I like Carolina just looking through these numbers because you're not paying the need attack like, oh, they lost game 1 at home. They have to have it tax, right? But Carolina are still the better hockey team. And in the same way for the Kings have to be kicking themselves. We held Colorado to 2 and lost. Ottawa held the Hurricanes to 2 and didn't even cover the puck line, much less lost. It's just, that is a brutal result. And I have no reason to believe it gets better immediately in the same building on the road. So I did play the Carolina Hurricanes on the money line here tonight, Gabe.
Yeah, numbers going up a little bit right now. It was minus 148-ish, 155 right now. But Carolina are they're so systematic, Kevin. They're kind of robotic in what they do. And it's good and it's bad because, there's a time in the playoffs where at times in the past, the Canes haven't had that next level, right? Like, all right, we got to dig down deeper. And it's like, we've dug down as deep as we could go, right? But, dude, they just roll 4 lines at you and they don't change what they do. They don't panic. Like, they don't look at the scoreboard. You know what I mean? They don't look at the scoreboard. They literally, sounds cliche, Kevin, but they literally just play one shift at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's relentless, bro, because they literally have 4 lines. All teams have 4 lines. Most teams have 2 good lines, and the third and the fourth is whatever. Like, no. Carolina, like, everybody plays, like, on Carolina. Sort of like a Michigan basketball team. It's like, yeah, the guys coming off the bench are good, too, now. Like, yeah, they got this 7-footer coming in now. Like, so Carolina, it's just constant forecheck, relentless skating, and you make mistakes. So, like, Ottawa played as good as they can play, bro. Like, Ottawa played a great game the other day. And whatever, you couldn't score on them, and they're going to break through, right? They just systematically wear you out. And they don't get rattled, the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh, we're down by a goal, fine. Or like, oh, it's tied. Like, let's just, like, don't look at the scoreboard, and at the end of the day, we'll win. Like, that's sort of the way that they play. It's hard to deal with teams like that. Now, teams like that have a problem when, they're facing teams with the same skill level as they are. Ottawa are really good. It's just Carolina are just a little bit better. And I think home ice really will matter here, Kevin. I think the Canes win this game, and then Ottawa will win game 3 back in Ottawa.
Again, excited to watch it play out. You guys know we will be covering it here. Let us get back to the rest of these picks, and also an inevitable award winner announced. We'll tell you who after the break. All right, back right here on SportsGrid. I just want to mention that Victor Wembanyama has not only won Defensive Player of the Year, we knew that was coming, but he did so in a pretty dominant fashion. He's the first ever unanimous Defensive Player of the Year and the youngest, which is crazy because he almost won it his rookie season, then would have won it his sophomore year if he stayed healthy, and still managed to be the youngest guy to ever win the award. And if health permits, Gabe, this will be one of what? 5, 6 Defensive Player of the Years for Victor Wembanyama?
Well, I think that's being conservative. I mean, if he plays 20 years, it might be 20. Like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I mean, I'm not going to say he's Ohtani. He's got to go out there and do it still. He's still young. I mean, winning, success is winning, right? That's what'll put him over the top. But, I mean, he has the potential to be the greatest basketball player of all time. Let's call it off what it is. I mean, it's just next level. I don't know if you saw the post-game interview, guys, after the game last night with him. Number one, it's amazing how well he speaks English now. Like, he doesn't even really have a French accent. Like, and he did not speak English before. He didn't care to. Like, he really didn't. Like, it wasn't like, he speaks English, but he's faking it. No, he really didn't. Like, he spoke, like, really just basic English. Now, his English is great, but he's so tall, Kevin, he couldn't hear the question. So he's getting interviewed last night.
So funny.
The girl's like at his hips. He's like, I can't hear you. I just can't hear you. So he started answering on his own. Yeah, we played well. And he went off.
It's amazing.
He's just, he really is. I'm telling you, man, I can't wait to see him in the 2028 Olympics because he's hell-bent on getting a gold medal too. Right? Think about how close they came and like how much better is he now, Kevin, than 2 years ago? Scary difference now. Scary difference now.
But it's kind of ironic. I love Olympic basketball. Wembanyama's best chance, though, is probably going to be 2028. And with it being here in America is wild. I say that because, Gabe, if you just look at the draft cycles, right? And Cooper Flag, and you look at the guys this year, Dybonsa, Peterson, Boozer, and what that's going to look like then in
the 2032
8 years'
team
time.
could be good, yeah.
Yes, the U.S. team should be at 2032 amazing, but we've seen Jokic.
Yeah, this is the shakiest U.S. team coming into it. Let's call it. We got to get to the picks, but you're right.
Yeah.
It is. We would love time to get to that.
It's very hard to know what that roster is going to be, but yeah. I mean, Gabe and I could do probably at least an hour.
And now
on that
this is Canada's time. Canada really got hyped up last time going into the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're all NBA players. Like people were like, I didn't realize these guys were all Canadian. They never really gelled. Just, there were injuries. Jamal Murray was hurt, and they were okay. And then they just sort of hit the wall and they lost. They lost to France. So no shame in that. But SGA said after, we really he basically said we weren't prepared for the Olympics. Like he said, we thought it'd be easier. Like he kind of admitted it. Like he said, it was more intense and now SGA wasn't the MVP of the league then, Kevin. SGA wasn't an NBA champion yet. Now he is. Like, the confidence level's a lot different with SGA than it was 2 summers ago. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait to see how it plays out in 2028. But what do you got tonight?
All right, let's make it happen here. For myself, Brandon Ingram over 21.5 points. He's just going to shoot the ball a ton tonight. I like the Hawks plus 6.5. That's my favorite of all these games here. I really believe Atlanta can win this game. I think they come out on fire in the Garden. Nuggets Wolves over the 230.5. I think both of these offenses bounce back considerably. Better three-point shooting specifically for Denver. Take the Canes on the money line. Under 9, Baltimore, Kansas City. Radish is supposed to be a stud. He's been roughed up a little bit early. Lugo's really good. Gabe knows that. I'll play under 9 in KC Baltimore, Gabe. What about you?
I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors. It was 9 when we sent it in. It's 9.5 now, so even better. We'll play the Raptors and the Cavaliers. Listen, I think the Cavaliers are going to score again. I don't think they get to $126, but I think they're going to get to 110, 113 type of deal. What are the Raptors going to give us tonight? I'm not sure the Raptors, listen, I'd be pleasantly surprised if the Raptors win this game outright tonight, but I don't think they get smoked. This is too many points. I think the Raptors die on their sword tonight and bring it. And similar to what Kevin just said about the Hawks, I think the Raptors come out hot tonight. Atlanta were in that game the other night. They just didn't hit their shots. So just for the record, yeah, I like the Raptors and Cavaliers over 221.5. I want to take the Hawks. I almost feel like it's a trap, Kevin. You're selling me on it. I've got the series to go over 5.5 games, pre-series bet. So I kind of need Atlanta to win here tonight. But I like the over 217.5 in this game. NHL hockey, give me the Pittsburgh Penguins to bounce back and even the series. Ottawa might win 2 games at home, but Carolina, best home ice in the NHL. Give me the Canes to win. Dallas Stars were terrible in game 1. They bounced back. And the public parlay of the night, Oilers and Nuggets, money line, plus 111.
And to the cards, AJ's got the Blue Jays. McDavid, anytime goal for Yarnell. See everybody tomorrow.